Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live. We are here. It's the summer solstice, or is that tomorrow? But we're very close. Here in the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, and here you are going to spend your Friday evening with us here yet again for Friday Night Live. Joining us as normal is Jen Cash and Ron Meischker. As you can see, Ed is elsewhere. He couldn't join us this evening, but Jen, it looks like you may be in a slightly different setting. And Ron, you look like you may be in a slightly different setting. Jen, where are we?
We are in my tavern room where we normally game. I just got some new lighting, so that's probably what you're noticing.
I would say so, yeah. It looks nice. It looks really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ron, are you? I don't know. That looks like a very small room. Are you in? You're not in a bathroom, are you?
No, I'm on a cruise ship heading back from Canada to New Jersey now and be safely back on the farm tomorrow morning.
Yeehaw. Well, hopefully you enjoyed yourself there in the land of the Canucks. And I hear that they're very nice folks up there. So back to the land of pork roll and the Jersey Devil. So what have we got for you tonight, folks? Just as a quick reminder, as I look at my things here, we are going to have, I believe, some giveaways this evening. And Ron, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I believe we have a $25 gift certificate for Frog God Games online store. And
we do.
I also believe we are giving away a Page T-shirt. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're giving away a Black Page T-shirt of the appropriate size to whoever is the lucky winner.
Okay, so folks, if you're out there in the crowd, you want to stick around, give yourself a chance to win those items. So who doesn't like winning, and who doesn't like free stuff? It seems like a winning combination. So yeah, we have guests this evening. Ron, we have guests this evening.
We do.
We have two guests, and they happen to be in the same room because these two guests happen to be married to one another. And they are Heidi Gygax-Garland and Eric Garland.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are we doing this evening, guys?
Doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Jen, I think you're doing well as well.
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. It's been a long week though, and so I'm very tired, but still doing good.
Fantastic. And we've already checked in with Ron as he's cruising back from the wilds of Eastern Canada. So, you were with us at Page 2 last year, and
Yes.
you're going to be joining us again as guests and as vendors for Page 3 in January of 2026 with your with the booth. Gaxland is your imprint, or your publishing nom de plume, if you will. And we wanted to hear what's going on in the land of Gax. What have you got up your sleeves right now?
Well, first of all, hi Ed from the ballpark. We are in the throes of all the production work. I should say Eric is mostly because he's our technical and graphics guy. So, as well as many other things, Eric is really in the thick of
things.
No, he's really in the thick of creating all of the graphics and getting them perfected to the specifications of what we need for Dragon Derby, our first board game that we're doing. Maybe our last, maybe not. We'll see. It is way different than the other work that we've done before, but it's an awesome, awesome board game. Our Kickstarter was very successful, and we are moving forward, and it'll be out in customers' hands well before Christmas. So yeah, he's working on that. And we also have a D&D module that goes along with that. The Dragon with the Girl Tattoo, which goes to the people who backed it in the first 48 hours, get that as a bonus. It's also an add-on that people have added. And then after that, it's not available. And we've got quite a few different other projects happening, as well as a con module that we are working on. Well, we're editing that one that we're doing for EdCon this year. Chris Clark wrote that, and we're working on that. But then we have several more projects that we are in the process of.
We're doing the con module for Phoenix Con.
Oh, that's right. We are writing, yes, Phoenix Con with Cosmo Joe, Andy Watkins. We're doing his con module for him for August. Yep,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We probably should get started on it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that reminds us.
We have a lot going on here.
Yeah. And also, I don't think we mentioned it. You had mentioned it, the name, but let's also talk a little bit about EggCon, because you are con organizers yourselves. So
yes.
What is EggCon? When is EggCon? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So we had this crazy idea last year to start a new convention in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is the birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons, where my dad wrote D&D and where I grew up. Just down the road at 330 Center Street. So in the end of February, we said, hey, let's do something around his birthday in July. We put it together very quickly and it was successful. So this year we're having EggCon 2, bigger and better. We have 2 smaller hotels that are adjacent to each other. So it's almost like one venue. And we have all of their space where we're doing. It's at the Cove of Lake Geneva and Harbor Shores on Lake Geneva. And right down by the lake, we have an amazing list of guests. It's crazy for such a little small convention. This is very intimate. We're going to have probably 300 to 400 people there. We're hoping more towards 400, but we'll see. We don't know how many people come in the door, but we have...
We're right at about 300 attendees right now, pre-registered.
Right.
And so we'll have gate at the door, and registration's still open. So
right.
More than 300, certainly.
So just going through the list alphabetically, Sonia Ackright, who is the curator of the Geneva Lake Museum and the Wizard of Lake Geneva exhibit, which is fantastic. I got to get a chance to see it. And she's a gamer. She used to game with my brother Ernie. Yeah, and she's an author. Chris Arneson, amazing artist. He did he's done lots of work for us, but this year he's done our logo artwork and our t-shirt artwork that we have. Heather Ashcraft, which I know you're familiar with. Excellent, game designer and media person. Ben Barsh and Bill Barsh. We have artist Jeff Butler, and he will also have a booth there. Mike Carr, he's the only person who's been to every single Gen Con ever since he was, I believe, 16 years old when he came to the first one that my dad put together here in Lake Geneva. Chris Clark, Inner City Games, awesome guy, also writing the Ernie Gygax Memorial Tournament module that we have. And we're working with him on that. Dave Conant, I've known from early in the TSR days, very involved with Tom Wam Games. I knew him originally as an IT guy when he was a youngster. Chuck Cumbo, Trollord Games, Dale Donovan, former TSR person.
Chuck.
Yes, Chuck. Chuck is awesome. And what it cracks me up, he's coming with Todd and Misty Cumbo. Not related, but they're all buddies.
No relation.
No relation.
They are in fact distant cousins. It's been
they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. They said no relation. Maybe that was just Todd.
From the south.
That was just,
well, no one wants to admit they're related to Chuck.
You can't worry about it. It messes up family reunions and weddings. It's not.
Yeah, we knew them. I knew them separately before, and then I'm like Cumbo, and they're very cool people. We like them a lot. Of course, Jeff Easley. Who doesn't know Jeff Easley and his beautiful artwork? Alan Hammock. Again, I remember him way before he worked for TSR. He used to come to our mini cons up here, the Alabama crew. Harold Johnson, Wisconsin Johnson. Some guy named Ron Meischker. Not sure. Frank Menzer. Chet Minton. Everybody knows the artist Chet Minton. He's
second tier artist.
No, he is a top tier artist, and we've used him for a lot of different things. We love Chet.
We've hired him for something else.
Oh yeah, in EdCon 3 artwork as well, besides all of our other stuff.
Besides that, he's doing some art for
I don't know what else you've done on
the
this.
Shadows over Lake Geneva. Anyway, by the way, we hired him for something else.
Oh, okay. So, stuff I didn't know yet. I learned things here. Michael Bernard, who was one of the very early gamers, used to come to our house at 330 Center Street. I remember him. He was like a teen. I was in elementary school and friends with his little sister, but he was one of the early gamers back in, Chainmail, OD&D, that sort of thing, playtester, very involved. He'll be there working a lot with Paul Stormberg on Legends of Role Playing and running games. We have, I'm kind of going out of alphabetical order because we have Tiffany T.R. Nickel and Jerry Red Shepherd, the authors, and they will be there and they'll have their booth there as well. Also running games, game designers, and Victoria Perrin will also be there. I'm sure spending most of her time down in the Legends of Wargaming area. Stefan Pokorny, Dwarven Forge, will be there. He'll be running games and using his terrain and things. And we just got confirmation that he is going to do his rock party on Saturday night. We found a venue for him just like a block away, so people can easily walk there and walk back and have a great time at his rock party. Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver, out of Orlando, Florida, will be up here. I mentioned Paul Stormberg. Steve Sullivan. I've known Steve again from the early days of TSR, author, game designer, great guy. Jeffrey Talanian. Jeff Talanian worked closely with my dad. He does Hyperborea. His company name, I can't think of his company.
North. Oh man, it's buried on my desk over there behind us. Yeah.
Yes.
Northwind Adventures.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yes, and great guy. He's coming with his wife Erica. He said they're coming and staying at the Cove. That's when the first time they came to meet my dad and talk to him about working together. They came and they stayed at the Cove of Lake Geneva. And he said it'll be a really great time to do that. Mark Tormino, who is Dark Wizard Games. I've never met him in person, but I've backed some of his stuff, and he does a lot of the old school, D&D stuff, and seems like an interesting guy. He's coming from California.
A working actor.
Yes, he does some acting on the side. And then Cosmo Joe, Andy Watkins, who puts together Phoenix Con. He'll be with us. Of course, I mentioned Tom Wam. He and Dave Conant do all the, Tom Wam game stuff, and they run the Wamathon. And then, of course, we have Penny Williams and Skip Williams, who I've also known like forever. So I'm very, very happy with the list of guests that we have for our little convention. And I think it's going to be really great fun for people, especially since it is small and it'll be people all have a chance to interact.
I stayed at the Cove 2 years ago for GaryCon, so I can attest that it's a very nice location.
Awesome.
They have really nice convention space there.
Yeah.
Nothing big enough for
And
GaryCon,
then
but
the Harbor Shores, which is a little smaller, is right next door, closer to the lake, and we'll have our vendor area, and they're allowing us to do 24-hour gaming in all of their spaces. So we have a few things going on late night.
Yeah. That sounds like a very busy amount of time from, say, now until like a month from now when that's going off, and then all those other things that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
So yeah, busy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, as is my wife Jenn.
Excellent. We're looking forward to seeing you here at Lake Geneva in summer. It's much different. If you've been here for GaryCon, GaryCon is an awesome convention. It's big. It's a lot different than this is. But if you come here, Lake Geneva in the summer, a lot more to do. There's all the gaming. We're going to have a small con, but it's beautiful. Lots of things to do if somebody wants to do something outside of gaming as well.
It's a busy, fun town.
Yeah, I got yelled at by Ron because we're actually, my wife and my daughter and I, we're actually going to southern Wisconsin for vacation this year, and we will be in state during EggCon, and I will miss the beginning of EggCon by a day because I'll be at the Grand Geneva for a night. And then I was like, well, "You're gonna be right there."
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But we'll miss the first day, so I don't know. We'll be in town. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to reach out or what have you. But
You'll definitely have to stop in.
yeah. So that sounds great. All right. Well, talking about your involvement with Page 3, let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that Dragon Derby, your board game, will be out by then.
Yes.
And we were just taking a look at the schedule here. It looks like there are going to be a bunch of demos of the game offered during Page 3, so
Yes.
folks can run. Will you have retail copies available for folks to purchase?
Yes, we will. When we get our, because that's in January. So
Right.
when we get our
Yeah.
shipment, we're getting all of them. They will be here, and we will be bringing them with us. We will have copies available. We'll run the game. Everybody, if we would have had it during our play testing, we've play tested this for a year now. And GaryCon, we did a whole lot of them. We play tested probably 48 people ran through, and I swear we would have sold at least 48 copies just from the play testing, and the people came to
47. That one.
well, oh, the one guy, yeah, 47. 47 out of 48 wizards.
There's always that one guy.
There's always the one guy. He was
Yeah.
very confused, but he ended up having fun in the end. But yeah, so we will definitely have that available. But we are also going to be running, our D&D games, a couple of those as well. Hamlet of Omelette
Right.
and Assault on the Apple Barn, which is something we've been working on for a while, but so many things going on.
Keep stopping.
We keep stopping. So when we finish, get this board game production done, we're going to try to go one at a time and not say we're going to do this con module or this, so we can just finish one thing and go on. Because we probably have, I think, about 4 or 5 projects in somewhere between 25 and 85% done at this point in time.
Well, we're looking forward to having you out there, and of course, you're going to be in the vendors room selling all your stuff. Last year, I think you were pretty much sold out by Saturday morning, right, of everything.
Yeah, we didn't pack enough. We flew. We're going to drive this. I think we're going to drive, but I'm a little nervous about driving in January, but we'll
figure it out.
You should be okay. Now, I'm going to forget her name, but the person from the Lake Geneva Museum,
Sonia,
also bought a badge to Paige.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know if you want to consider talking to her about carpooling, but I don't know what her plans are, but she's
quite
bought a
tolerable.
badge.
Yeah. We like Sonia. We saw her today. So yeah, we'll have to do that. Maybe we'll have to leave the kids behind and bring her instead.
You can put, think of like National Lampoon's Vacation. You can put them in a cage on the
He always says he's
roof
going
of the station wagon.
strap the kids, duct tape them to the top of the car. And they argue that, they would have to make a call, and that's not appropriate parenting. So
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter who every once in a while, there's some discipline involved in parenting, of course, and it'll be like, there's someone I can call, right? There's someone I can call. I'm
Yeah.
like, could you imagine saying that when we were kids
No.
to your parents?
You'd be beaten with the phone receiver.
My father,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
give you a reason to call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they just, and even though you're joking and they must know you're joking, they say, no, you can't do that. That's not,
Yeah. That's child abuse.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And
My
there's
daughter.
good things about that, but there's also like, we're
Yeah.
sitting there like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jen, what questions do you have for Heidi and Eric? You always have a load of questions stored up because you're the only one, because Phil and I don't prepare, and neither does Ed. So, so I'm sure you have plenty of
I've
questions.
got a bunch. So my first question is,
Charlie.
do you have a favorite edition of D&D? And if you don't, which one, like, what do you like the best about each of them?
Well, I'll speak to this. Eric has gamed, more through all the editions than I have. I grew up playing AD&D really because my dad, OD&D, probably played that with Ernie and Elisa more. And then by the time I started, hanging out and playing with him was more, AD&D. And so that's what I grew up playing, and that's what I like to play. I play and write also for both. We do some OD&D writing, but mostly AD&D and 5e because 5e is very popular. But then when we run the 5e game, we put stuff together and we're like, oh, this is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And then it's in 5e and it's like, they broke it. So I really like AD&D the best, but I think we've had fun with all of them. And I always say the best edition is whatever people are enjoying playing. Because I know like Skip Williams, he likes 3rd edition because he worked on it and he wrote it. And so that's what he likes to run. So he'll be running that. So, when you get into the edition wars, I don't like to get into that, but it's what I'm familiar with and what I grew up with. And then, of course, 5e, because I'm getting more familiar with that because we run it for a lot of people who that's what they play.
Yep. I remember 2e was the first edition I ever played. And then I got into 5e and I've stuck with that one. But
yeah,
it's such a fun game. And do you have any favorite house rules? And if so, what are they and why are they your favorite?
Sometimes we do some things to simplify. I'm trying to think of what we do right now, like with initiative and.
Yeah. Maybe using a D6 or a D10 for quick initiative, just because it doesn't need to be complicated.
Right. Just trying to, especially when we're running things at a con, you want to simplify and keep things moving forward as far as that goes. But
it comes to, so there are times when, you hear the players whispering and they're coming up with a plan. And so it's like, you can just push the module aside for a second. We don't even have to look at the book. It's like, tell us what you're going to do again, and be really specific. And so you can, when people are really role playing, they're really working hard.
Yeah.
We both seem to really like that because it's fun. And at that point, you don't have to roll or look up.
I can think of a house rule that came up when we were running something last year in Lake Geneva here at Dragon Days, and some kid jumped in and was playing, and he was just obnoxious. I say kid, he was like probably 18 or so. And he was just doing all these obnoxious things and slowing the party down and making stuff. It's like, I'm going to go over and I'm going to like push on the statues and I'm going to poke at it. And all of a sudden it's just like, after about the 4th time he did this, like, and the statue falls over and crushes you and you are now gone. So getting rid of obnoxious players is something.
And the game ran a lot better after that. It was,
doing that. You just have the screen up. You just roll.
I don't know if that's just a house rule or if it's just a rule of thumb.
This.
I think that's a rule of thumb. You kill off the annoying player.
We gave him more than enough chances, I think. We probably should have done that the second time he tried it.
Yep.
So we have a question here from the audience from There's actually two of them. I'll give you the first one first. And it's a question to each of you from Anthony Simeone. What's your favorite character, race, and class? How do you want to field that first?
I go back to, it's hard because I have my really good memories from when I was a youngster and I was playing, and this like goes all over the 5th edition, but I played a half elf fighter thief. and I had a really good time with that. And that was, my character was Murples, and I played that. But I'd say now I really like, I like magic users, and I like to play a rogue. A rogue I like. I've played that, and even in CNC with Jim Ward when I played with him before. And yeah, I mean, it's just like being able to sneak around and check things out, and still having some fighting capability as well.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
My most favorite I've ever played was a human aging cocktail waitress named Roz. I was playing Call of Cthulhu, and she was awesome. She said, "I think I'm gonna shoot it now." And no, for D&D, dwarf cleric. Just if there's a dwarf cleric on the table, or if I'm throwing something together for
But you like to write for halflings. We've written several adventures for halflings because they have to be really brave to go after.
Writing adventures, writing halfling adventures are just so much fun.
Yeah.
Just and then you give an entire table of people all these pre-gens, and they're all halflings. It's just and then you put everything up really high in the game, and it just makes it so much fun.
All right, we've got a question from Ben in Michigan. He says, what was it like when you worked at TSR through the family dynamic there?
Well, I was not, I was young enough where I just was kind of working in the periphery. I wasn't like, my sister Lisa was my dad's secretary, and Ernie had like a job writing and doing things. I would come in summers. I'd work at the Dungeon Hobby Shop. I worked in shipping. I worked, and then once I graduated high school, and in between, I went to college and I took a semester off, and I worked in marketing with Jack Morrissey and some other people there, and got to know a lot of the people. So I never had I was a worker bee, and I was learning it because in my mind, I was like, I'm going to learn. I was like the more serious. I was the more serious student of, between my older siblings who didn't like school and weren't interested in it. And Luke and I were the ones who liked school. It's very easy. So I was thinking, I'm going to learn everything from the bottom up, and I'm going to, go up in the company, and then I will learn and take over. And right about that time I was working there, that's when all the takeover happened. And then some personal things. I was in my, early 20s, and it was like I had that I called the 20s drama, and I moved to Chicago, and then I moved to Hawaii and got very distant from everything that was going on. But those were really special days, and I wish I could change that and spend more time around TSR, but there was a lot of tumultuous stuff happening, not in the company and in my family at that time. Yeah. So.
Sure. I understand. Yeah. Deborah Ann has a question. What is your favorite monster or creature?
Oh my gosh. I always liked, and I know that
Jen's hitting the vodka right now.
Big glass of water. Right. Stop.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks like it could be. It's Jen.
You're Jen. I'll go with you too. Yeah.
The one, I mean, there's a lot of monsters. I'm not talking about the best one that I like to fight, but the one I always thought was cool was the Beholder. And I know that, it was Terry who was given the credit for creating that. But my dad always used to say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And then we'd all chuckle, because I was like, so I always, liked the Beholder. Displacer. was pretty cool. I don't know. What was your favorite monster? I'm not talking about what to fight though, because I'm always playing lower level things. So traps are like more what I've been fighting when I was playing with my dad.
I mean, we've in our adventures, we've always had a big bad in each of our adventures.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the sea hag. My favorite would be the sea hag that if you take Gail Gygax's name and you scramble, it's an anagram. I can't remember the name. Did I?
Yeah, we have a lot of
that.
We have a lot of things in in our early modules that if you look, there's little Easter eggs and things that you can find out.
But the recurring this sea hag, even in our 1948 adventures, we bump up against this character from the D&D adventures, because all the worlds are connected, and I think the sea hag we've had a lot of fun.
We didn't know there were going to be shots fired on this episode.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
I didn't fire a shot. I mean, I've got 2 monsters named after you too. It's not.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm
Mon
good with it.
Right. rhymes with Mon Reisker.
Yeah. We're really looking forward to Dragon Derby coming out. I backed the Kickstarter to the retail level.
Thank you.
We're going to be putting the copies of the game in Page's board game library. So they'll be able to be played at Page. People can just check them out at the library and play them at the convention for years to come. Looks like we just had another question come in. Matt Archibald wants to know, what was the last book or movie that inspired your adventure writing?
Why are you looking at me? I rewatched and Stardust.
Stardust was good. We watched it, but a lot of them, strangely, I mean, there's a lot of them that we do, but what comes to mind off the top of my head is we wake up like we're dreaming stuff. And so a lot of it, I'm sure, is fed in from books and movies. We wake up and like, oh my gosh.
2:00 in the morning. She's like, you know what we should do? I have no idea.
And he was like, I was hoping that was something else. It's like, no, it's an adventure.
Right, yeah.
Sorry.
Friends from the Tabletop Super Show checking in. Deborah Ann says she also backed it. Jen, what other questions do you have?
I was wondering what you liked most about page 2 and what you're looking forward to most at page 3 coming up.
Well, I can say what I liked most about page 2 was just talking to all the people, wonderful people. I spent most of the time in our booth. We played we were playing games, off hours, so it was long, but it was just, everybody was so friendly. We were rarely sitting there on our own. People just, our dog, sorry, Thor.
Thor, lay down, buddy.
And just meeting people that I've seen online or talked to perhaps, but I hadn't had a chance to meet them because they're out there on the East Coast and, being in the Midwest. So it was really nice for people that I hadn't seen in a long time and just talking. And then of course there's the after hour time, the mixing with people, going next door over to the hotel where we were at and just continuing to game or talk or have that social time. It was really, really nice. And that's why we want to come back. That's the main thing, it's the feel, if you don't feel comfortable and you're not having a great time, and we were, so we're coming back.
Page definitely has that family feel.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel pretty grateful too that we have a lot of people come out from the Midwest to Page. We have so many people who come in from the Wisconsin and Illinois, Michigan area. it surprised me, to say the least, and we're very grateful for that. And got some other people checking in online here. We've got Wes Allen, known egg thief Wes Allen from Lizicon checking in. We've got Elise Paxson, who's just a box of dynamite. What a great person she is. We've got Brian Keena. He's okay. He's a local guy and local friend. And then we've got Matt Archibald, who's there, who's checking in from northern New Jersey. And I will add that his Boston Terrier pooped on the floor of the hotel venue.
Oh, yeah. We know.
And then Matt accidentally stepped in it and walked around the gaming area. So
very cute little pups.
Right.
But Hades did not.
Yeah, our dog did
no,
not.
Hades did not, but whatever that little Boston beast.
What's her name? She's very cute.
I believe the dog's name is Poopers.
No, it was like not Penelope, but it was something very, very cute.
Droppings. Turgula.
You're terrible.
What?
It was a sweet little puppy. They can't help it. I mean, Hades didn't do it, but
Pickles.
Yeah,
Pickles.
Oh, that's a cute name.
Yes. She left some pickles on the floor for sure. Yes.
She was only 2 months. Anyway, yes. Matt.
Let's see. Anthony says Midwesterners moderate the East Coast attitude. Our friend from the Tabletop Super Show, excited to start my diorama contribution for page 3 in collaboration with Ralph Partha Legacy. Whether I make it or not, my auction piece will. And okay, so the Tabletop Super Show, which I didn't quite realize, is miniature painter extraordinaire Stephen Reeder. And Stephen, get well soon. I know you're under the weather, buddy, and get well soon for sure. So
another question I have is, are you guys doing any seminars at page 3?
We are not currently, although last year I had like a last minute jumped in on a, women in gaming seminar, and that was pretty interesting. In fact, it inspired me to add that to EggCon. So we're doing that on Sunday morning at EggCon at 9 a.m. And I've got like
great. Is Heather moderating it?
I was going to moderate it, but I could ask her. I was going to moderate and have Heather's participating, and Penny Williams and Jerry Shepherd, Red Shepherd, and
Tiffany.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm missing somebody, but anyway, yes. And then we have the TSR jobbies. We've got Frank and Steve Sullivan, and I hate when I name people off because I'm missing everybody. But Harold Johnson, and so we have Steve Sullivan. I said him. Yep. So we've got at least 4 or 5, and I said you never know who might show up, because if they didn't answer in the little group chat we had, they're still welcome to show up.
Rumor has it that Phil, who's been brewing up some of our panels, that he's got Heidi and Eric both slated for panels, or at least to have discussions. I know Heidi. There were some discussions. There's the Same Table, Different Voices seminar or panel at Page again this year. And I know, there was some discussion about that, about having you on that panel again. And Eric, I know Eric, there's panels on publishing your own work. And best way to go about doing that, whether it's kickstarting, whether it's using print on demand, or going through a printer, things like that. So I know that was one of the things that had come up, and your name had come up to sit on that panel as well.
He's definitely the guy for that.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever.
You know what we have to do? We have to get a picture of all the dogs that are going to be there. Pickles is banned.
Why did you bring that up right after you were talking about Eric?
You could.
Pickles. Pickles is on the banned list. We've got 3 names on the banned list, and Pickles is one of them.
I'm joking.
You could actually put all their pictures in little squares and start a pool on who's going to crap on the floor. And
the tabletop super show. You should put that up. Sorry, we have a big dog.
Apparently, somebody's stepping up, saying they want to.
He's probably agreeing with you.
Adventures. As soon as we get this Dragon Derby, which is awesome, off of we've got so many things, and we have so many things that we're doing at the same time. But yes, we've been having a lot of fun with it until you get to the technical part of doing the board game. So then we definitely want to concentrate on writing more adventures, writing and running adventures, because that's really where we started and where we want to concentrate our efforts. To answer one of the comments, and stop pushing me, Thor.
He's so big. He's so big. He pushes us around the office on the chairs. They roll. Oops. Yeah. And
okay.
He's
I'm sure my dog is missing. Yeah. My dog is missing Jen and I very much. Sort of. She goes to the pet sitter and she gets to hang out with her buddy T'Challa, I think is the other dog's name. And we like to send her to the sitter when we travel, because then she's dead tired when she comes back, because all she does is play with the other dogs all day.
Thor goes to the same place that he goes twice a week for play dates. I said I said it out loud. He's gonna start jumping all over me. He loves it so much, so he's good. But yeah, so we miss him. I think I miss him more than he misses us.
Look at this. Frank Menser. In my opinion, Heidi has the talent in the surviving Gygax creators.
Oh, thank you, Frank. That is too generous. And hi, Frank.
It's good to see Frank. Yeah. It's good to see Frank here. And let's see, Matt Archibald's making demands, which I'm ignoring. Here we go. Anthony Simeone wants to know, do you have any hints for us of any modules that are in the works?
Yes. We had started out, we had a Curse of Candlelight Manor, which was just the one that was in the digest size. And we have the second part of that in process, and we plan to have a third. And we were talking about putting out in a 3-book set, box set, rewriting, adding to the first, of course, before we release that. Hopefully the next one that we put out would be Hamlet of Omelette, right?
I think so.
And there's multiple parts of that. It starts with Encounter at Goblin Gulch, which was EdCon 1's. And then we have Assault on the Apple Barn, and quite a bit more, because there's a whole village. Thor, stop.
Called Omelette.
Yes. And a lot of other things going on there. It's hard to wrangle a 130-pound dog when he's trying to rub his hindquarters up against the computer desk.
Sure.
But yes, I would say those are the next 2 things. Eric keeps bringing up the cookbook, which I was 80% done with and then came to a complete halt. So I want to get back to that as well. But I think we need to get some of our modules out first.
Yeah.
And we were going to try to do some sort of a game dynamic. And I was going to do some hopefully interesting, who knows, family stories that go along with some of the recipes and things that are in the cookbook. And of course, some pictures and things.
If you're seeing the camera jumping around, it's because Thor is bumping the desk now.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
He's
okay.
130 pounds.
I see we have one of my personal favorite people in the gaming industry, Jenn Glazer.
Yes.
On watching from Frog God Games, and she definitely is my favorite, and I don't say that because I'm in fear of her stabbing me. I legitimately mean it. Let's
you have a
see.
Loki. You have a Loki that says hi to Thor.
Yeah.
I used to have a Loki, and that's how Thor got named Thor, because when he was a puppy at the rescue, he looked a lot like my Loki who had passed a few months ago. And it only turns out that I thought Loki was big because he was 75 pounds, and then I got Thor. He turned out to be much bigger anyway.
So, okay. Jen, any last questions, or anybody from the crowd? Any last questions before we let Heidi and Eric get on with their evening?
With 100 special guests.
I have one last question about EggCon. What was how did you name it? How did it get its name?
Oh, yes. EggCon. Okay, that's a good point. I should have brought that up. My dad was E. Gary Gygax, so his initials are Egg. And even when he was a child, stories from my grandma when she's still around, he even had his own egg language. I couldn't speak it, but he even made his own egg language where he would say things sort of like, think of like a pig Latin type of thing, what he did with egg. But anyway, so Egg, E. Gary Gygax. And we also used it as a way to start another way to honor him. It's on his birthday weekend. And the other way that we're honoring him is we started the E. Gary Gygax Memorial Scholarship Fund. And we did that with EggCon 1. We raised some funds and we gave out a scholarship. We went and were part of the ceremony where they presented the scholarships in May. And we awarded $2,300 in scholarships to the local high school. And we're well on our way to doing
We're going to do better than that.
Or better for this year.
Which is the auction. That
we're having on Saturday afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, we do the auction from 1 to 3 this year. And so last year, I had no idea what we were doing on an auction. So luckily, Frank stepped in and helped us out, which was really great.
Yes.
This is how you're talking to a microphone, right?
I heard you also have some expert help.
Yes, we do. We have expert help. Some guy named
rhymes with Mon Reisker is gonna.
No, Ron's gonna help us out. I know Frank's gonna be there, and we'll have cake.
We're gonna have cake, and we're gonna have cake.
We're actually gonna do a presentation. We want the main scholarship awardee, whose name is Mia Flores, and she wrote a short story. And Steve Sullivan helped us with the judging, and hopefully Mia, and at least I know she and one other their badges, and they're coming. One of the other scholarship awardees, and we want them to be there just to show that this is really what we're doing. And so.
Sounds like a fun time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to give you a pro tip. As a diabetic, you want to give me the cake after I'm done auctioneering, not before.
We'll save some to the side.
Very important. Very important. If I'm all sugared up when the auctioneering starts, who knows what's going to come out of my mouth. So you don't want that. Oh,
and I have a little exciting thing I haven't mentioned anywhere yet. So I was talking to Yolanda Frontini today, who now owns 330 Center Street, which is where we lived when my dad wrote D&D. And she wants to donate time so that Eric and I can run a game. So we're going to auction off, coming to play a game at 330 Center Street with us.
For EggCon 3.
EggCon 3, yeah, probably EggCon 3, or we'll work out the exact date. But yes, or it could be
that'll be awesome. I'm sure that it's going to go for a pretty penny at the auction. So, okay, we have some other questions here. Whether it be deviled eggs today.
If you want some deviled eggs, Frank, I'll make some there. Amelie makes some really good ones that are her favorite too. So they're in the cookbook as Amelie's deviled eggs.
All right. And as we know, Wes Allen, you got to keep him away from EggCon because he's been known to steal eggs. Okay. Well, with that, we're gonna let you go. Do you have anything to leave us with before we let you head off into the night?
No, we're just really.
No.
Do you have anything to add?
No. I mean, for those of you who backed Dragon Derby,
Thank you.
we're to the point where we're submitting the final files to the printer. There were several things. There's several things that have been added. It turns out that the game boards have a backside as well. So when the company let us know what it cost to put another racetrack, so we had this fantasy racetrack. So we commissioned our artist, and
Great.
so the backside is now a truncated version of the city of Lake Geneva with some really cool landmarks. So there's a second race course and more wizards and way more magic. And
we've added
bigger,
things that were
game.
supposed to be stretch goals that we didn't hit. And we decided we're only doing this once. Let's go all in. So there's a lot of great surprises. Like you said, a flip side of the game board, Lake Geneva. We added in Dastardly Deeds cards. We've got
more ways to cheat and screw over the person that you're left.
We've got some fun things. So if you backed it or you haven't seen it yet, it'll definitely, I think you'll definitely be pleased. Yeah. So, and we're really looking forward to, besides EdCon, and we've got, a few things coming up, but Page is right around the corner, unbelievably, and don't want to think about it being winter already when today's the first day of summer, but we will be there and we'll be having fun.
Well, we're excited to be meeting you at Page 3. So
awesome.
Yeah. So why don't you give us the EdCon website address before we let you go, and we'll put it in the chat.
Sure. It's edcon.fun, F-U-N. So. Yep. And that's it.
All right.
And tickets are open. We've got, in Frankstown, we've got one more Frank event that we're adding that'll be in there tomorrow. So there are still plenty of great things open. I think there's still some tickets to the tournament for
There's a few seats for
Ernie,
the tournament left.
the Ernie Gygax Memorial Tournament, which is going to be, fun. And the winner, there's going to be trophies and gift certificate, things like that. So
EGGCon.
Yeah.
.com. .fun.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, EGG.fun.
Fun.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and you're welcome to stick around in the green room if you'd like. We're going to get on to some of our normal weekly updates about Page now, but thank you so much, and I'll see you next
Sounds
month.
great. Thank you,
Yep.
Bill, Ron,
Thanks
and
very
Jen.
much. Thanks very much for
Yep.
joining us. We do appreciate it.
thank you.
All right. Now, we did have a question from Frank Menser. With close to 100 guests, how do we keep people from getting lost in the shuffle? Well, interestingly, this year we have multiple areas for seminars and panels this year. Several smaller areas set aside that are self-contained. There will be no battling over sound with the gaming going on. They'll be the only thing going on in the areas. The seminars and panels will be the only things going on in those rooms. So we're going to be adding, there's several panels this year, and those panels and seminars, every guest's going to have a great opportunity to, put their fingerprint on what's going on at the convention this year. And we're really excited about the seminar and panel schedule. We haven't gotten everything into the schedule yet, but everything will be in the schedule that we have to date prior to July 1st, when our gold badge holders begin selecting their events.
Yes, that's right. That's a very good couple of points you were making there. I'm sure a lot of people, if you have not heard, that the space for Page 3 will be substantially larger than it was for the first 2 years of the con. So it gives us so much more flexibility when it comes to being able to differentiate uses like that, split off the panel seminar area from the gaming area. And if you were to the first two shows or one of the first two shows, you will see how compartmentalized in a positive way that'll be. So yeah. Matt Archibald's asking how many guests assigned to each handler? Question mark.
Most of the guests
Yeah.
don't need handlers, so and the ones that do, strangely, they don't get invited back. So
Yeah, it's and not to dwell on it. It's a lot of people to stay in communication with. Myself, Ron, and Ed, especially in the last couple of weeks, have really had to send out a lot of emails and answer a lot of questions about things as we're getting ready for the gold badge holders to be able to start choosing their events in about 10 days or so. So yeah, there's right now. I feel like I mean, I personally feel like I'm working harder than I have in a while. But there'll be a little bit of respite in hopefully after July. But right now we're burning the midnight oil a lot of times.
yeah, I've actually done a lot of work while on this cruise, like in the downtime when my wife's out with her mother on the boat and things like that. I've been working to get a lot of stuff online. So we're really hitting it hard. I think another way that the guests aren't getting lost in the shuffle is, we did bring on Ed Stark specifically to help coordinate with the special guests. And, we recognized last year it's great having a lot of guests, and it's wonderful for the gamers to be able to interact directly with the special guests, and having that nice ratio of special guests to actual attendees is a goal of ours. But Ed is there to make sure nothing's falling through the cracks, and all the special guests are that their events are all hitting the schedule properly, that we're not having people double booked for times, stuff like that. So we continue to learn as we move forward, and we believe Ed is the solution to a lot of these problems. There is no more conscientious individual that I know than Ed Stark. So he's been doing a great job since he came on board with us, and he'll continue to do a great job through page 3 and beyond.
And Ron, remind us, when does the portal open for selecting your events on the 1st? What time of day? 7 p.m.
7 p.m. 7 p.m. for
That
gold
is
badge
amazing.
holders.
I remember last year staying up until 12 a.m. to choose our events. Thank you for making it earlier.
No, we received some feedback that wasn't so positive about doing 1201. So we're not gonna do that. And Matt Archibald has a really pertinent question. Is there any plan to replace Phil now that he's past his physical prime at 50 years old?
I would be on the market if I was you, Ron. It's time to put me out to pasture. It's time for the glue factory for Phil.
No way.
Yeah.
You're the glue that holds this whole thing together, Phil.
I need you to put that on a t-shirt and send it to Ron's address.
Listen, Phil, Indiana John's only a phone call away.
Ouch. Shots fired.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh. Okay, moving on. All right, so let's get back into some things here that we typically go over. Folks, there's so many ways how you can stay on top of things here with the page crew and what's going on. We are now less than 6 months away from the con, actually. And so information is already flowing out there, but it is definitely going to ramp up as we near into the end of summer and into fall. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, PhillyGamingExpo.com, and of course here on YouTube, which we are continuing to grow our subscriber base So if you have not, if you are in the chat right now and you have not subscribed, shame on you. But you need to, hopefully, if you can help us out, share that out, and let's get some more subscribers in here and really grow this thing.
Phil, just a point of order. We are less than
Just
7 months away from
Okay.
Paige.
I can't believe it.
It's
It doesn't
7
seem
months.
possible.
Apparently, Phil teaches
Studies.
social
I don't-
studies, folks. He
Yeah,
doesn't teach math.
I used to, I counted on my fingers until I was 49 years old. But now I forgot
Oh.
how to count, that I'm so enfeebled. I've gotten hit by the ray of enfeeblement as of last Monday. So, but yeah, anyway, yeah, okay, so 6, 7, half a year.
It's creeping
Anyway.
up on us.
It is. It's definitely creeping up on us. Event submissions are still open. So if they will not be open forever. So if you have something that you are sitting on idea-wise that you want to run, it's time to get the lead out. It's time to bang the rust off the pipes. It's time to get those fingers dancing across the keyboard. TTE, PhillyGamingExpo.com. Get in there. Get those events loaded up so that we can take a look at your submission and hopefully get it on the schedule.
We did receive events today from the immortal Frank Menser, so his events are all on the schedule now. So start choose wisely on July 1st. We expect any day the Harold Johnson's events are going to be coming in. Many of our other special guests, their games are already on the schedule. I think we're still waiting on Zeb Cook. That's expected any day.
Dale, I think Dale. Dale Donovan. Oh, we're not Dale. Who did I mean?
Dale who?
Who wrote us an email? I can't remember. Looking at said that they're going to be getting their games to us very shortly.
I think the other one is
Scott Douglas. Scott Douglas.
On his game.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, Scott Douglas. Yes. Yep. Did Chuck get you his yet? Chuck who?
Chuck, I don't know. It's Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know. I remember the guy. I forget his last name. Starts with a C.
You're talking about Chuck
yeah,
Trumbo? No,
yeah,
of course
that
not.
guy. Yeah,
of course
no.
not.
Folks,
we're gonna rename the Troll Lord Games gaming area the Frog God Games gaming area because there won't be any Troll Lord games to go in there because Chuck hasn't gotten his events in yet.
Folks, if you by the way, if you want to watch Ron and I talk to Chuck and Bus's chops a little bit, we were on Jay Scott's show. What was that? Sunday night, Father's Day. You can find Lord Kasumba. That's Jay Scott's online presence on Twitch and YouTube. So you can see Chuck making excuses for himself as to why he's not gotten his games in. So, and that was on Sunday. Today's Friday.
We had a tsunami warning.
Right now?
No, that was Chuck. That was one of Chuck's. Tsunami warning. South Central.
Yeah, I was going to say. Anyway, so yeah, we'll have all these things sorted out, folks, hopefully in the next, like I said, 10 days or so while the gold badge holders get their stuff open to start choosing games. Now, talking about those dates, about choosing events, we already talked about July 1st being open at 7 p.m. for gold badge holders. Now let's talk about July 11th. July 11th is the next date that we open up gaming choosing events for. That's for staff, volunteers, GMs, 4-day badge holders, special guests, and vendors. So on the 11th of July, that'll happen. Same time, 7 p.m. And then July 22nd will be for all other badge types. So if you're someone who has a single day badge, July 22nd will be your day. Now, of course, anybody that falls into the other categories can be choosing all along. So if you are someone that's having a hard time choosing, or you want to change something out and you go back and you discover that there's still tickets for an event that you want to participate in, you can do that at any time. The window does not close for you as it opens for others. So that's important to know as well. Let's see. Let's talk about the hotel block, shall we? Hilton Garden Inn is sold out, I'm hearing. And the nearby Hampton Inn is selling quickly.
The Hampton Inn's starting to sell out, and then we're going to move out to other hotels in the area. We already have the block set up. We'll announce them as the Hampton sells out. I don't want people spreading out all over the place unnecessarily.
Right. Yeah. So if you have not sorted out your accommodations yet, I would do so sooner rather than later. Just one more mention, our new show here on Tuesday evenings, Around the Board with Bex, which is a new show here on our YouTube channel, featuring Rebecca Swesney, who's on staff, our board gaming library aficionado. It's typically joined by Ron as they talk about new additions to the gaming library, the board gaming library specifically. By the way, folks, we have now over 400 games in Page's board game library. So we're not just talking about a smattering of a few copies of here and there, because this is an RPG con. We also have a lot of board games, and we are continually adding to that library. And so if you want to hear about that, you want to hop on 6:30 Eastern Standard Time Tuesday nights with Bex.
That's an impressive library, Phil.
I don't own 400 board games. Then again, I'm not a board gamer, but I would say that's a lot of games. And so if you've got a suggestion or recommendation, let us know to see if there's a specific game that you'd like to see the library acquire. We will definitely look into that. All right. Let's talk about next week's show. I think our guest, I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. Ron, who might that be?
Well, our guest is Frank Menser next week. And in addition to Frank, we're going to have a surprise second guest.
Folks, I don't even know who this is. I don't think Jen knows either, unless...
No, I don't.
Uh-oh.
It will be a surprise second guest. Oh, we've got Bunny Daniel with us. Hello, Bunny.
Well, folks, there you go. I mean, first of all, you want to tune in to talk to Frank and get his thoughts on things, but you also want to tune in to find out who this second mystery guest will be. And so there's nothing else to do on a Friday night other than hang out with the Page crew. I'll actually be on the road next week. Myself, I'll be in the Finger Lakes in New York with my wife. So I will have to find time Friday night to make sure that I can get on. But that's a whole nother matter.
Listen, Phil, you'd have to be a total jerk to appear on the Page live stream while on vacation with your wife.
Nobody, I wouldn't do that. This isn't the first time you've done that, by the way.
No,
Hey, yeah.
It happens. Actually, the last time I did is I was actually on a work.
Yeah, I've done it. I was in Pittsburgh with my family on a short vacation, so I've done it myself. But yeah, we'll see how many times. And I've done it from Gary Con. You've done it from hotel work stuff. Atlantic City, I think, one time. So we tend to take this show on the road if we have to. All right. New special guests that were announced since perhaps maybe we last got together. Don Samora was announced, game designer and publisher, Wizard Tower Games, associated with the Open World RPG and D20 Delving. So Don will be joining us. In addition to Don, we have Jay Yamil, who's also a designer, who will be not only running games, but also moderating some panels for us as well. He has designed Maiden, Mother, and Crone, and another system called Repentless. So, and then as of earlier today, we did announce the creator of the Eberron campaign setting, Keith Baker. So if I'm sure most people, I would venture to guess, that are in the chat stream or have been associated with RPGs in the last 20 to 25 years has probably heard of Keith. And so he will be joining us as well. We're pretty excited to have him. That's really great. All right. We're running out of time here, so it might be time to see if we can't figure out who our winners are of the Frog God Games gift certificate and the Page t-shirt. So I know last week I wasn't here, but you asked trivia questions.
And it wasn't asked, so Frog God Games, they got all of the benefits of a great giveaway, and didn't have to give anything away because nobody got the question right.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of asking questions regarding the conversation that we had with our special guest earlier in the show. So if you have one, for folks that were sticking around and listening intently, I think that's a good strategy.
So you're suggesting that I do another trivia question tonight? I was thinking of something a little different tonight.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Since Stabby Jen Glazer is in the chat, I was going to let her pick somebody from the chat at random to give away the $25 gift certificate to, based on who she thinks has been the biggest contributor to tonight's program from the Peanut Gallery. So Jen, I know you're still on here lurking in the darkness. If you could pick out somebody from the crowd, and that's who will be the winner of the $25 Frog God Games online credit. So as soon as Jen gets around to, she's probably hiding evidence right now.
Oh, well, I mean,
probably using bleach to clean
the crime
up
scene. Yeah.
Something. Yes.
Hey, Ron, let's keep this PG.
Well, listen. She has full well admitted to stabbing her husband. We're just going to put it out there.
Accidental.
There was a stabbing. She was the one holding the knife. Jen, the invisible stalker. I don't know if she's still on here. We actually have our highest viewership between the two platforms right now. So, all right, not hearing from Jen. Maybe she took a bio break. So I will go back. Oh, there it is. Jen has declared that Anthony Simeone is tonight's winner of the $25 credit, and you also win a 10-minute one-on-one discussion with Jen at Page, where she may or may not stab you with a knife.
Let's see. We have Wes Allen egg joke. We have Jen Glazer stab joke. What's Jen? What's the other joke that we hear every week? There's got to be at least one. There's got to be a third one, right? No, we have a pickles poop one now. Got to add that to the repertoire.
The pickles poop stuff that's dead serious. There's no. There's no joking about that. Pickles is banned.
And Ron, you always joke about my choice of beverage.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Drink joke.
You're we try to have a thread of consistency from program to program.
Isn't that the definition of a dad joke? Over and over and over.
Now, we are also going to give away a Page t-shirt tonight. So here's what we're going to do. Phil and Jen are going to get to choose. Jen, our own lovely and talented blind bard, is going to help Phil choose who should be the winner of the t-shirt.
Okay. How do we get the t-shirt to the winner?
Well, they just email us, and then we mail it out, or we just give it to them at Page if they're coming to Page.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm scrolling through here.
What do you think, Phil?
Definitely. Well, it can't be Archibald. It can't be Wes Allen.
We had a lot of messages in chat tonight. A lot. Nice.
We did. It was a very busy show.
He's scrolling. Well, let's see here. I mean, you took a shot at Brian Keena, so maybe Brian. So he can.
Yeah.
You think Brian Keena?
So he can wipe his tears from all of the insults being flung his way.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So Brian Keena, you've won a Boys Small Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo t-shirt. Listen, a few things. We're approaching 500 events on the schedule. We're going to go over 500 events once we get the seminars and panels all scheduled. We had a ton of events going on today, and just a load of events. Yamil Camacho's games came in. As I earlier mentioned, Frank's games came in yesterday.
Alex Kammer's games came in.
Alex Kammer.
Yeah. I was doing some work in the database. Well, I'm missing.
Anthony, Brian Keena says, we gave him the shirt just because I want to save on shipping.
Hey, I recommended you, Brian. I didn't even think of that it would actually save on shipping because you do live close. So
Anthony Simeone says, I have like 10 Page t-shirts. How many of them don't have Big Mac stains on them?
Ouch.
Gotta be careful when you throw rocks. It could be return fire.
Big Mac special sauce stains, right? Yeah.
All right. So, Phil, do you have anything? If not, we'll let.
We announce a special guest at the end of every show, right? Do we want to announce one person so far that we haven't announced? Let's see. I'm looking at the list here. You have one? Okay,
I have
fair
one to
enough.
One that's very near and dear to my heart. Somebody I've known for more than 3 decades. Artist Lisa Ann Lake, who is currently doing a lot of the work on the Shadow West game, and doing a lot of work just in general with Fox and Boar Games and John Hartford from over there. Lisa Ann's been a fixture as an artist on the gaming scene here in the Northeast and around the country for many years, and just a dynamite person, and so glad she's going to be back with us
They
again
just
this
did
year.
a stream yesterday, actually.
Yes, they did.
So for all the folks out there, if you haven't seen their stream, go check it out. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And John's a great guy, and on 35 years, and I'm so glad that he's doing what he's always loved to do, and he's making a run at it with his own small business, and I wish him nothing but success, and I've been supporting every Kickstarter that he's been running.
Yeah. Shadow West. Yeah. What does Anthony say? He only eats 5 Whoppers at a time, so he doesn't even go to McDonald's. He's a Burger King guy.
Nah, see.
They have the best fries.
Oh,
Burger King.
Oh,
He's,
I don't know.
Jen,
I can't even think about food. I'm on a cruise,
you left
and I've
him
eaten
speechless.
so much food now.
Yeah, Ron was talking. We were talking about him and I were talking about just the other day about our favorite or fast food places, and I think Burger King. Would you say was a distant third? I think you said for you.
Burger King's a distant third. Yeah, I prefer McDonald's and Wendy's are like kind of head to head, except for the McDonald's fries are better, and maybe the Wendy's burgers slightly better. But I give McDonald's a nod.
Actually, Wendy's is supposed to be the best for you health-wise.
Listen, none of them are good for you. That's just
yeah, that goes without saying, but
Yeah. Yeah. Would you rather inhale cigar smoke or cigarette smoke? Which one's healthier for you?
well, if
Depends
you're
on
my
who we're
husband's
talking to.
cigar smoke.
Yeah, well, there you go. So,
All right.
all right.
Well, I think we came to the end of it.
All right, Jen, you want to take us out?
Sure. Well, everybody, have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. And if you have the time, please check out my channel, The Blind Bard. I will be streaming tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I hope that you'll check it out if you have the time. Otherwise, have a great day, and we will see you next week, same time, same place.